I think I found a miracle cure for acne. Ever since I was a teenager, I've suffered with acne. Puberty came and brought with it these pastels. Like an unwanted house guest, causing havoc and wrecking your once peaceful home. Except, if a guest breaks your expensive, top-of-the-range TV or smears shit all over your brand new sofa, you can kick them out. Acne won't leave so easily. Acne won't leave so easily. Bright red pimples, painful and throbbing, have plagued my face for over a decade. Angry, scarlet eruptions stretch across my forehead, cheeks and chin like endless tiny mountain ranges. It feels like there's barely any part of my face left, which has been untouched by this nightmare. And yet, new spots still find space to pop up. These pastels seem to be permanent fixture on my face. Although, on an odd occasion, that one spot does go away. It's replaced by an horrendous scarring and pitting. I barely remember what it was like to have clear skin. I have tried everything to eliminate these fuckers. I've tried harsh, stunning creams and scrubs, face masks and peels, charcoal, micellar water, vitamin C, whatever trend is doing these rounds in skincare. I even tried switching to gentle products to try and nurture my skin back to health. But that did fuck all. Doctors, dermatologists, skincare forums, none of them have helped me. Useless. My bathroom is littered with half-used products, abandoned in favor of something new that just has to work this time. How much money have I wasted on this? Covering my face in heavy makeup doesn't help much either. It hides the redness, but you can still see the bumps and craters underneath. A ravaged landscape, not to mention how painful these spots are. I can touch my face, or even smile, without feeling sharp pains ripping through my skin, fading into a dull, throbbing ache that remains for the rest of the day. But do you know what the worst part is? The way other people made me feel. Once I developed acne, the other kids at school were merciless at that teasing, making my life hell, and leaving me friendless and alone. Not surprising, really. Kids are assholes, but nonetheless upsetting. My only solace was the hope that after I left school and became an adult, I would finally be treated with some basic dignity. I was wrong. Sure, I'm no longer mocked, but now people stare. They don't even try to hide their disgust, a morbid fascination on their faces. And don't get me started on their helpful comments and suggestions. Have you tried washing your face? Have you tried being less of a bitch? You should try shitty project. It worked for my friend's niece. I have tried millions of products. Fuckface. Your acne is terrible. Really? I haven't fucking noticed. The worst offender is my co-worker Becky. All day, she bombards me with this kind of bullshit in a chirpy, patronizing voice. I've stopped responding to her idiotic babbling. But still, she doesn't get a hint. Her skin is so lovely and clear. I don't recall ever seeing even the slightest blemish on her face. but she treats it like shit. Apparently, she never bothers to remove her makeup before bed, never moisturizes, never uses sunscreen, and washes her face with an ordinary bar of fucking soap. And here I am with a strict skincare regime, using expensive cleaners, toner, day and night cream, and makeup remover every day, exfoliating twice a week, and using a face mask once a week. And I look like this. It's not fair. I hate her. Nothing has ever worked in treating my acne. Until now. I was relaxing at home one evening, trying to find something good to watch on Netflix. Due to my lack of social life, I had already finished most of the series and films I was interested in. I was about to give up and head to the bathroom to start my mammoth nightly skincare routine, when I heard a thud on the front door. Curious, I headed into the hallway to find a small parcel laying next to the door. My name was neatly printed on the front of the package. However, there was no address. Clearly, it had been hand-delivered. But by who? Turning it over in my hands, I couldn't find a return address either. Ripping the parcel open, discovering a small black pot and a note printed on high-quality paper. Dear valued customer, please enjoy this free sample for our latest product. Using revolutionary skincare technology combined with only the finest ingredients, this exciting new product will change your life. Watch as blemishes, scarring, and imperfections melt away. Simply apply the entire contents of the pot to clean and dry face. Instead of your normal night skincare routine, only one application is needed and must be done on the night of the full moon. Wake up to discover the new you. I glanced out of the window to discover that it was indeed a full moon tonight. Weird coincidence. I turned the note over and found a message printed in a tiny lettering. Squinted in the faint light of my darkened hallway, I was just able to make it out. Although it was a free sample, all things come at a cost. Payment must be made every 7 days, or our billing department will forced to make collections. They will be in touch shortly to advise you of accepted methods of payment. We recommend that you fully cooperate in order to avoid any unpleasantness. Did they write a dramatic pass into their own fine print? Everything about this seems pretty strange. But maybe it was just one of those quirky skincare companies? Maybe this was just a weird little publicity stunt. I was confused by the valued customer line. I didn't remember having ever bought anything from this company, although I couldn't see any mention of the company's name on the note. Maybe it was a new brand, and I'd subscribed to the website one evening after few too many glasses of wine? Whatever the reason for receiving this, I figured I might as well try it. What's the worst thing that could happen? I went to the bathroom and cleaned my face as normal. Under the bright light, I examined the little pot more closely. Its design was minimalist, with no logos or ingredient list. Simply a plain black pot with the words "Fallenist" printed on the front in a stark red lettering. Inside was a jet black gel, so dark that no light seemed to penetrate its darky depths. And yet, as I stared into it, I thought I saw a glimmer of something swirling in that blackness. I blinked. I'm probably just tired. Dipping my finger into the gel, I noted that it felt warm to the touch. It also smelled like freshly baked brownies, just like my mother used to bake, although there was an acrid undertone to the aroma, almost undetectable. I smoothed the slimy tar like a substance over my face, making sure to cover every inch. As soon as it touched my face, the gel turned blood red. Great, not only do I look ridiculous, this stuff will probably stain my pillows. I headed to bed, skeptical that this would not work. I learned by now not to get my hopes up. I awoke next morning to find that the blood red gel had disappeared from my face. Even more surprising, my spots looked smaller and less red. I thought it must be a fluke, that my acne would get worse and I would be back to a square one. But to my disbelief, just 2 days after receiving that strange parcel, my acne had completely vanished. My skin looked amazing. It was so smooth, so clear. It even had a kind of glow to it. I could hardly believe my luck. I was getting so many compliments on my beautiful skin. People would ask me what my secret was, although I didn't tell. Even Becky, my irritating co-worker, finally stopped bombarding me with her unsolicited advice. Secretly, I think she was jealous. For the first time in years, I finally felt comfortable in my own skin. But then I started to see things. At 2 a.m. on day 4, I awoke to find a shadowy figure standing in the corner of my bedroom. Still half asleep and groggy, I assumed it was a trick of her light. Shadows, cast by mundane objects, which my brain imprinted as something more. I drifted back to sleep, content that it was nothing more. But in the cold light of the day, it was still there, almost, like an insubstantial cloud of dark smoke, vaguely humanoid shaped. I could see through it, see the wall behind it, but it was definitely there. Unnerved, I scurried out of the bathroom and went about my day. I hoped to get away from it. Maybe it would be gone by the time I returned home, but it followed me. No matter where I went, it was there. In the office, the shops, my local cafe, the pub, even on the streets. It lurked. Always the same distance away, although I never saw it move. Every morning, I would wake to find it closer than before. The closer it crept, the more substantial it became. I could no longer see through it, and the shape became more defined. An impossibly tall, thin man with spindly arms, ending in long, pointy fingers, or perhaps they were claws. I couldn't make out any other features on the figure. It seemed to consist entirely of impenetrable darkness, an inescapable void. I started to hear, though, whispers, growing louder each day, a cacophony of voices, although I couldn't tell what they were saying. I was a nervous wreck, barely sleeping and drinking myself into a supper every night to try and cope with the ever-present terror. How could this possibly get any worse? Then my face started to decay. My skin became flaky and started to slough off in great clumps, leaving patches of glistering grey skin dotted about my pallid face. Stench of rot, death, emanating from my source was unbearable. In the dark, early hours of morning, I awoke to find the shadow man closer than before. He was stood right next to my bed, towering over me. Frozen in terror, I watched as he crouched down until his face was just inches from mine. Voices I had heard previously were now deafening, no longer whispering, but screaming. I could finally tell what they were saying.
Death, 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 death.
Staring into that empty face, I could swear I saw a frown. The Shadow Man was angry, but now I knew what I had to do. I slipped into Becky's house while she slept. It was difficult. The stupid bitch had left the door unlocked. I grabbed a knife from the kitchen and silently crept into her bedroom. I struck quickly, pinning her down before she even woke up. Using a kitchen knife, I started to cut off her face. It was messy. She struggled and screamed bloody murder, but I managed it. Once the job was done, I plunged the knife into her chest to finish her off. I looked over my shoulder to see the Shadow Man smiling, the voices accompanying him fading away to whisper once more. Every 7 days, he needs me to take a life, or he will take mine. But it's not all bad. He gets his payment, and I get a beautiful new face. I'll take care of it, far better than Becky ever did. But in a week, I'll need a new face. I've already started shopping around, and I'll be more prepared this time. I'll have better tools, and I'll make sure they can't struggle. So next time you'll post a selfie to social media, take a moment to consider who may see it. It might be me.